Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the St. Louis Cardinals. We've just got 2 years left. After an all-time classic, look at this box score here. St. Louis gets out to the early 5-0 lead. Chicago answers back this huge sixth inning, dink and dunk, and eventually Chicago triumphs. We have 2 years left to try to make it at least three World Series championships. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. If we take a quick look, I just want to make sure that I'm not shortchanging myself here. Started in 1920. So yeah, it's gonna be 50. It's gonna be 58 and 59, and then we switch to our final team. Um, and then we'll see what happens from there. All right, friends, let's begin by checking out our coaching staff. Everyone here is fine. Still way too many minor league teams. Cool, 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 cool. Player development. Practice facility. Veda Pinson. Just work on whatever you want. Like, I'm not even that fussed by your final decision. I mean, I guess play discipline's always the right answer, but Jim Donahue, please learn how to throw strikes. That would be cash money of you. Dick Stigman, kindly do the same. Let's look at the Major League roster, because I'm pretty sure Albie Pearson could use some help. Maybe? Yeah. Mr. Pearson, I would like you to work even more on your batting eye. I would like your batting eye to be absolutely flawless, where you can spot, like, the atomic distribution of a baseball's weight before you swing. There's my expectation of you. Is it unfair? Probably. Do I care? No. And then wait for it. People working on control. Control's always the right answer for a pitcher, unless they've got at least 50 to 55, and then you can start working on other things. But in no era is a pitcher who cannot throw strikes a positive. For sure. No, don't check the waiver wire. That's stupid. You're stupid. There's a whole lot of mediocre relievers, and I just don't think it's smart to spend money on that. What do I want to improve? I'd love for Joey J and Gary Bell to just get more confidence. I think that would go a long way to making our pitching rotation as formidable as it's been in the past. Um, or Dick Stigman to improve. Um, Jim Gentile just presents this fascinating issue that I don't know quite how to comprehend. Um, I don't know, guys. I do not know. I mean, look, there's always possibility of shifting Boucher out to the outfield. Oh, no, there isn't. Never mind. I know Jim Gentile's got way more upside because of his power. I think at the bare minimum, he's going to get some time in spring training, but I find it difficult that he would unseat Boucher after his fantastic season, but we can certainly think about that one. Second base could be improved. That's another position I feel we're a little bit weak at. And I wouldn't mind getting another outfielder. Those are kind of my objectives this offseason. Possibly get a new outfielder, possibly get a second baseman, and then go from there. Also, just as always, more depth is always more good. Bill Harris sucks. I'll offer him a minor league contract if he takes it, great. If he doesn't, I don't care. But I'm certainly not going to invest heavily in him because I just don't think he's worth it. Search all leagues, 50 overall potential. Wonder who my next team will be. I don't know yet. Okay, no hitters of note that are freely available. And it looks like no pitchers either. Okay. Alright, let's advance some time. It feels like it's going to be 3 consecutive MVP awards for Mickey Mantle. That seems pretty likely to me. A gold glove for Harvey Haddix, and then who here got flagged? Oh, early win. Okay. No, wait. Why did this get flagged for me? Oh, because I'm on news for my league. Okay, that's why. That's why. All right, reliever of the year, not a Cardinal, not a surprise. Silver Slugger for Mickey Mantle, and Ernie Banks, and Ken Boyer, and Ed Boucher, and Johnny Pod Racing. No Rookie of the Year for me, but Albie Pearson did finish second, which is pretty sweet. No Gold Glove, or no Cy Young for us. But another unanimous award for Mickey Mantle. Amazing. It's hard to be upset with a season which, you know, for the third year in a row, you make the World Series and come within a couple of outs of making it a thing. I would love to cast my ballot. Ballot casting is my favorite thing ever. I'm utterly shocked that Paul Derringer can't get more traction, but I don't think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. I will vote for Dutch Leonard. I feel like this version of Pee Wee Reese has kind of a weak case. I don't think he's got much of a chance of making it into the Hall of Fame. I'll vote for Vern Stevens and Lon Warnicki, even though, again, it's kind of a waste. I'll vote for Johnny Vandermeer as well. Howie Paulette, sure. Johnny Pesky, of course. Lemony Bob, probably not so much. I'll go for Max Lanier. Ken Keltner. Monty Irvin is a pretty obvious choice. I hope he makes it. And then I think I stopped there. I don't think anybody else here is that special. Harry the Cat, maybe, or Mort Cooper, but there we go. I'd kind of like to upgrade the bullpen too. But this is going to be my one shot to add in a premium talent, so I will literally take whoever the best player available is. Because we can always use quality depth. Like, there's never a bad time to have quality depth, right? It is not possible. Damn, son. Ryan Duran's not even that fucking good, but okay. I guess he is pretty decent. Maybe I should have gotten involved in that one. Hmm. Some decent players in this draft. A good draft for pitchers with Marshall and Perry, Claude Austin to a lesser degree. Offensively, we've got Pete Ward, who's okay. Frank Howard's pretty good. Pretty good. Just taking a peek at who might be around by the time I get to draft. There's definitely some. Oh, Billy Williams is amazing. I forgot about. I never heard of Fred Whitfield though. Yeah, there's some decent players in this draft. Um, just maybe not as many. Definitely, this fills a desperate need for me. So we'll see who's still around by the time I get to draft. All right, so this is what we're choosing from. Okay. I don't need another first baseman. And yes, he can play the outfield. I don't think Joe Pepitone fills a need for me. Zoilo Versailles, or Versailles, I'm not sure how you say his name, would be a pretty good choice if we could get him to play second base. I think there's a far, far larger percentage of cases where there might be a better choice, though. McShannon is fine. Leo Cardenas is fine. Danny the Tater Cater is fine. Although, keep in mind, watch out for the trap here. Most of his contact value is just not striking out. That may not be as successful as we might hope. Manny Jimenez is decent. I feel like I have to take an infielder. Which is down between Versailles, Cardenas, and Cater. Cater is defensively the best of the bunch and has a lot of positional flexibility. But his offensive skill set is very, very based on his ability to make contact. And that concerns me. I'd basically be drafting a utility guy in the first round of the draft, which doesn't ever feel good. Leo Cardenas is a little bit better offensively, marginally, but otherwise he's quite similar to Cater, but without the experience playing other positions. Versailles is arguably the best all-around hitter, and probably could handle second base in a pinch. Um, I think I take Versailles and try to teach him second base at some point. Dick Hauser is not a very good second baseman, but is a very good hitter. Ah, you're one of these types. He's gonna draw walks and not strike out, and when you're a mediocre infielder, that's not good enough. Horace Clark isn't anything special either, but at least he's a better infielder, so I think I'll take him. Done. I truly don't understand why Ron Herbal keeps slipping, but their loss is going to be my gain because I think he's got a chance to be a really solid pitcher. I know he doesn't throw super hard, that may be part of the issue, but I'm more than happy to pay him his salary demand. Eh, I'll take Dick Ellsworth. Somebody's got to, right? He probably just wants like I want like $50,000 and be like, you know what? Done. Here is 35 grand. Huh. Vic Davalillo is a pretty solid outfielder, even if he's not much of a pitcher. I think taking him and seeing if he can develop his talents is worthwhile. Dave Nicholson is actually better than he looks. He's gonna strike out a bunch, but he's got enough power and batting eye to make people take him seriously. I think he's gonna be an okay player. And let me do a cheeky little offering of a contract to him. Oh, he's already been paid. Brilliant. Um, Gary Holmes is uninteresting. I think we just go ahead and complete the draft at this point. Like, I don't really care who else we come up with. Any rule fivers I need to keep an eye on? Not really. Like, there's a whole bunch of pitchers that are roughly the same skill level. So we can make some decisions there. I'd like to try to add an outfielder. I feel like our outfielder roster is good, but it's also very, very thin. But a veteran outfielder could be mighty nice. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled in the Rule 5. I'm going to try to grab myself a veteran outfielder and maybe another bullpen guy. You can never have too many bullpen guys available to you. I don't care about fielding a shortstop. That's much better. Joey Amalfitano cannot play the outfield. Do any of you have any kind of decent upside? A guy like a Bob Rosselli isn't bad. He's not anything special, but he does at least draw plenty of walks, and his minor league track record is actually fairly good. Let's give him a shot. Is there anybody with decent contact potential? Georgia Lusick is okay. Like, he's overall has some talent. I'd love somebody who's pretty good defensively. I would appreciate that. Like Don Lassiter, I think, is another good choice. Let's do that. And let's snag Jim Carter. I think Jim Carter's got a lot of interest for me. And I think that's it. I think that's a pretty successful Rule 5 draft. That's gotten us a lot of contenders to be our backup outfielder. So I'm pretty happy about that. Like, the benefit of having a Veda Pinson is that I have 4 starting capable outfielders. But my concern is what happens if 2 of them get hurt. That's why I made sure to invest a little bit of time and energy into getting some backups who can offer some depth on the bench. Only Vandermeer made the Hall of Fame. How did I miss Bob Feller again? I don't know. Paul Derringer was done dirty. He had a remarkable career. And it annoys me a little bit that he couldn't even crack the 5%. Or he couldn't get in, but that's alright. Hey, you know who signed Johnny Vandermeer? That's right. Me. You're welcome. It is so random in this game how why some people get a lot of attention. Like, this is a thoroughly unremarkable pitching career. It's fine. I think he looks better than he does because he won 5 World Series. But I genuinely don't think he's all that special. Like, certainly I would not have said this is a definite Hall of Famer. But apparently I am wrong, so I will accept that, and we will move onward and upward. Wow. Thanks, dude. That's gonna make all the difference at $300. I'm joking. I honestly don't care. I think it's important. Barney Schultz is uninteresting. Mike McCormick got better. Clem Labine got worse. Gary Bell got better. Jim Gilliam got a little bit worse. Ken Boyer's about the same. Ernie Banks is about the same. Pearson got worse. Nothing too wild happening. That is one of the traits of all time. Undoubtedly. All right. Barry Latman and Claude Lazat are both going to get a chance to make the team. Dick Stigman can have some reps. Vaughn McDaniel can too. Jim Small and Chuck Daniel. There you go. Let's shift to a 6-man rotation and let's see who pitches. Lineups. Set them all up, please. I'm fine with Pinson playing over Pearson if that's the right decision, but I do hope that one of them can separate it from the other. This is just such a weird move that, yes, Jim Gilliam is such a terrible hitter that we want to bat the pitcher in front of him, but okay. Fine. No improvement for Albie Pearson, but everyone else got at least a little bit better. Let's do a casual check to see if I can get one more practice thing in. I want to try to train our shiny new prospect at second base. Mr. Versailles. Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh well. We'll have to do that next off season. I'm not opposed to trading Andy Carey, but Gus Zernial and Charlie Smith are not the return I'm looking for. Reject. I do feel like Andy Carey has already been lapped and that he kind of just exists to be a secondary infielder. And there's nothing wrong with that. Assuming we carry 10 to 11 pitchers, that's still at least 14 roster spots out for position players. I did not know that. That's wild about Bobby Chance. Neat. Johnny Padres losing velocity does concern me. Hoyt Wilhelm is less surprising given his age. Boucher got a little bit better. Mickey Mantle's a little bit better defensively. Rocky Colavito's a little bit better. Jim Donahue's a little bit better. Okay. Huh. Vaughn McDaniel's the third youngest player in Major League Baseball just based on spring training. That's weird. That is wild. All right. 20 players gotta go. And I'm presently at 24 pitchers, so at least 11 of them will be pitchers. You're getting waived. Coates, Grant, Cux, Latman, McDaniel, Stigman, Daniel, Schultz. I need to get rid of at least 3, possibly 4 more pitchers. I kind of want to keep Jim Carter if I can, but not so much that I'm going to exclude him. Okay, Frank Duncan, I think, is ready for the minors, and if he refuses, I will simply release him. Like, Noy's pitched for us for a very long time, and I respect that, and he's been a pretty useful reliever. I just don't need to invest that heavily in him, so I wish you well, dear sir, and hope you have many happy returns in the future. Tom Morgan, I'm gonna try to sneak through waivers. If he gets claimed, he gets claimed. Lazat to the minors gets me to 12. 12 feels like the right number. I'm fine with 12. Let's go ahead and set up our team now. Clear the pitching staff. Pitching ratings. We'll sort by starter stuff. I feel like Connie Johnson is our clear ace and Johnny Padres is our clear number 2. Then it's Harvey Haddix. And then the question becomes, how do we divvy up the rest of it? I think Gary Bell needs an actual shot to pitch in the major leagues all year at a relatively important level, so I think he's going to be a starter. So the question becomes, is it going to be McCormick or Jay? And I think it's going to be Jay. I think we do Jay and then Bell. Or we turn Joey J into a super reliever and let McCormick have his spot. Let's do that, maybe. Yeah, I think he's wearing down because his stamina's not that great. I kind of want to see what damage he could do in the bullpen. Let me go ahead and give McCormick a shot. And then Mr. Joey J, you're going to be emergency starter. No, you're more important than that. You're going to be a middle reliever that we use more often and also be a long reliever. Let's look at all relievers now. I want Hoyt Wilhelms to be the stopper this year. I want good old Chuck Grimsley to be a middle reliever that we use periodically. I want Dennis Hamilton to improve his control. So I want him to be pitching at a much lower priority. Avoid high leverage, but you will be long relief and middle relief. I want you to work into your ability to actually throw strikes consistently. Jerome Yelvington, you're going to be my lefty killer, but you're also going to get some middle relief appearances. And then Carter and Levine can both be middle relievers. So basically, Joey J is going to be an important bridge to Hoyt Wilhelm. And I'm hopeful that putting him in the bullpen, he won't burn out like he has the last couple of seasons. He's not far removed from being a useful starting pitcher. I just think he's better suited to be a reliever. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with him. All right. We now to get rid of 8 position players, starting with 2 of them being catchers. Roy Chamber and probably Pete Daly can both find themselves in the minor leagues. Small to the minors. Esposito to the minors. Lassiter, Roselli, and Alusic can all depart. I need 5 outfielders, so Jim Bolger makes the team by default, even though I don't love it. Which means an infielder has to go. And it seems like carrying 2 first basemen is foolish. But on the other hand, like, we don't know if he's gonna make. I mean, he had two incredible seasons in the minors. I mean, the problem is I don't send him down. Who do I send down? And that, I think, is the reason why we have to let him go. Because either that or it's Bolger. And I don't trust either Veda Pinson or Albie Pearson to be good enough to hold down the fort to a degree that I don't need a 5th outfielder. Oh. I feel like acquiring Bobby Thompson when he won't be starting just seems silly. And I don't want somebody who's going to hurt the vibe in the clubhouse. I feel like Johnny Groth would actually be pretty solid. Just somebody to give us veteran presence in the outfield without giving up too much, hopefully. I would offer you Claude Lazat and Barry Littman. And now I can say goodbye to Jim Bolger and hello to Johnny Groth, giving us a lot more flexibility in the outfield if we need it. I still got to get rid of an infielder. And Andy Carey cannot play shortstop. I think it's time to trade Andy Carey. To try to get ourselves a nice prospect, I think. Like, that prospect isn't like World Series caliber. I just think his time has come. Look at Maury Wills. Do you have options left? Is your last option year? I think Amori Wills wouldn't be a terrible choice. Because he can at least handle himself in the infield and he's got lots of speed. Duck Dodgers in the 23rd and a half century. Dick Schofield is another fine choice. He's actually a little bit better than Maury Wills for our purposes. I think Schofield might be the play here. Yeah, let's get us some Dick Schofield. I'm sorry that the fans are a little bit sad about losing Andy Carey, but the truth of the matter is, like, he just wasn't going to play. And this gives us still a pretty reasonable bench. No, it does put an awful lot of pressure on Andrew Dashkovich to play second, short, and now 3rd. So that is something we're going to have to monitor. Let's get the lineup set. All batters, ratings of batting. Okay. I think Ed Boucher is literally a perfect leadoff guy. And then the question becomes, do we let Albie Pearson start or do we let Veda Pinson start? I think a guy like Veda Pinson could really shoot this lineup into the next gear. Which then leaves Pearson available to play all the outfield positions and get a lot of experience. So I think we're going to try it. I know in spring training they had Pinson first. I like Boucher's superior on base skills to make him a better leadoff guy. Mantle hits third, obviously. Between Banks and Colavito, I trust Colavito a little bit more, and then Banks can hit fifth. Colavito. Ken Boyer slots in and hits sixth. Then Stan Lopata, who is aging, by the way. We might want to think about replacing our catcher here in the next season or two. And then playing second base, I know why the AI wants you to play Daskovich, because he's a really good defender. Oh, Jim Gilliam is cooked. Let me go ahead and pick Daskovich for right now, and I'm actually going to try to trade Jim Gilliam. He is completely cooked, and I don't trust him to play, so let's try to get ourselves another infielder for him. Charlie Neal can handle second, but not really third or short. Richard can handle second and short, but can't hit. William Brust can handle all three positions and can't hit. Bubba Phillips can only play third. Or Lavril can't really play anywhere. Letter McBride's a fantastic defender with no offense whatsoever. If I look at veterans too. Billy Goodman is only second and third, alas. I gotta be honest, William Bruss is sounding like the guy, even though it's not my favorite choice, but I think he might end up being the choice as someone who can handle all the positions fairly well. I would have went somebody a little bit younger that might have a chance to develop some offense. Leonard McBride wouldn't be a terrible choice either. Yeah, Bobby Avila is fine, I suppose, but that's more to help sell tickets, and that's kind of not what I'm looking for here. It's either gonna come down to um William Bruss or Leonard McBride. They're both zeros with the bat. McBride is 25 and Bruss is 27. I think that's enough for me to pick McBride instead. I'd love to add in a prospect, but you're gonna laugh in my face if I ask for any. No, you don't want to give me Warren Goodrich. Fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink this one. And then Leonard McBride goes right to the Major League roster, and he's going to be our primary backup in the infield. Go ahead and give me a depth chart, please. McBride is absolutely not playing that frequently. Like, Daskovich at least has some offensive skill. But this is also a position I'm going to want to upgrade as the season progresses, for sure. Um, and then once every 5 games for you, and we'll copy the depth chart over. There we go. Done. I did not know that about Ozzie Smith. That's wild. This is funny. Like, they're like, oh, okay. We want you to play better than 500. Like, why do you think I'm that much worse this year? I don't know. Oh, I don't have any of the top 10 prospects anymore? What happened? You might be concerned that the others have graduated. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, team. Let's get out there and baseball good. Let us base all of the balls. Not a single ball will not be based. Nice. I'm increasingly becoming to believe that the big difference between the good teams and the great teams is that on the truly great teams, there's enough depth that there's lots of possible heroes, even if one of the more traditional heroes isn't playing his very best. I think that's just so critical in baseball, is to not have too many eggs in one basket. I guess funny, Jim Gentile just casually is like, what if I also pitched? What if you didn't, though? Zoilo Versailles is already improving, which I love to see. Play him at second base, please and thank you. Because I don't think I'm going to let him bounce Ernie Banks. I mean, I guess I could have shipped Ernie Banks to second base if we can get an improvement at shortstop. There goes Mike McCormick, out for 7 weeks. I'm just going to put out for 60 days because it'll give him extra time to recover. We're going to call up Mudcat. And we're going to let Mudcat be our fifth starter. I don't love it, but I don't want to pull Joey J out of the bullpen either. And it's also super early in the season, so I don't really know how players are going to be doing yet. Jim Carter, I'm just going to send you back to your home team. I'm not going to pay you to be injured. Let's let Tom Morgan make his triumphant return to the major leagues. That seems reasonable. Emergency starter, long relief. I end up keeping none of my players that I drafted in the Rule 5 draft this year. They all have been sent back to their home teams, which is funny. Okay. So Dennis Hamilton is throwing even harder. His control is improving. That's critical for him to be his very best. Joe Garagiola might actually be the better catcher to play right now. We'll have to see. Nice. Veda Pinson is the premier rookie in the major leagues. Let's have a look at the team. Yeah, the big bats are all thumping this year, with the exception of Stan Lopata and Andrew Daskovich. Everyone's hitting. Rocky Colavito is not as good as he's been in the past. Maybe I swap him and Banks, because Banks is obliterating baseballs right now. Let's also bump up Boyer, and let's see if this makes any reasonable impact. It's the number one offense in the major leagues, guys. I'm not that concerned about how we're performing, but you might as well ride the hot hand while you've got it. Uh, Pitching wise, we're doing good. Mudcat Grant is pitching pretty effectively, which is lovely to see. Yeah, let's just keep it up. I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm going to start shopping for upgrades, though, both at catcher and at second base. I mean, the solution for catcher might very simply be Stan Lopata goes to the bench and we play Gojo Garagiola. Because Garagiola is also a little bit better defensively. So I think this is the right decision. Let's go ahead and swap the two of them. And then we can go from there. Unfortunate. I mean, I'm gonna lose. If I'm gonna lose Mickey Mantle, I'll lose him for only a very short period of time, but that does concern me. I still have no young outfielders. Fuck. Am I genuinely thinking of promoting Claude Horn just because I have no other outfielders? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll promote Jim Bolger. Um, I'm gonna slide down Pinson. He's gonna bat third while Mantle recovers, and then we're gonna put in Albie Pearson to play center field and play and hit second. There you go. Okay. I mean, I think I've already built a dynasty, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, I'm sorry, but I won three pennants in a row and got two World Series, so I think it's already dynasty level territory. If we could just weather the storm while Mickey Mantle is injured, I think that was the most important thing this season. All right. So we're gonna bench Pearson. Pinson plays hits second, and then Mantle takes the mantle of being the number three hitter again. I told you guys we would definitely need defense. We would definitely need another outfielder, and it turns out that I was right. I feel like as long as Boucher is still performing, we have to trade Jim Gentile at this point. Like, I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me to have rare assets like a roster spot devoted to yet another outfielder. Yet to another first baseman. Which Ed Boucher is handling himself quite well. So I think we cut bait on Jim Gentile and try to grab ourselves a young outfielder. I'll just look at all batters actually. Why does nobody want him? This is so fucking weird. Like, not a single solitary team is like, no, we don't want Jim Gentile. Is it the expense? Maybe it's the expense. Really? That is so fucking weird. I'm gonna play the beginning of July, and then we're gonna take a look at the trade in block and see who might be around. Gary Bell, Rookie of the Month, or Pitcher of the Month. Nice. All right. Other than Harvey Haddix, the starting rotation is pitching quite well. The relievers are doing good. It just comes down to the fact I have zeros at the catcher and at second base. And Colavito's badly struggling this year too, which concerns me as well. Um, who do people have on the block? I wouldn't say no to Smokey Burgess. But I think Vic Power would be even more useful to me. Okay, you're wanting something pretty special for him. I understand that. Let me start the bid with Jim Gentile. Okay, I'm not giving you any of these players. Like, it's just not going to happen. As much as I like Vic Power, I'm not giving that up for him. What if I offered you Stigman and Donahue? It's just not moving the needle enough. So let's go back to the trading block. As much as I would love to add Vic Power, it's just not going to happen, clearly. Rocky Bridges would be a pretty solid choice. What is that going to cost me? Oh, he plays for LA. They're probably going to want something pretty substantial for him. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Mudkate Grant has been shockingly effective. I feel like we just let him keep pitching for now. Mike McCormick, I'm going to send you to rehab. We're gonna keep this coaching staff together. They're all doing a really good job. I'm not even gonna think about this one. We're just gonna casually slide in here and give everyone a raise and an extension. Joe Williams has one job: keep Mickey Mantle healthy, and he is doing that so far. And extended. Nice. Okay. Let us proceed. Who made the All-Star team? That's a good question. Connie Johnson, Hoyt Wilhelm, Ed Boucher, Ken Boyer, Ernie Banks, Veda Pinson, and Mickey Mantle. Nice. His rookie season, and he's made the All-Star team. That's pretty solid. He seems like he's a pretty good player, one might say. Ooh. Losing McCormick is not amazing, but this instantly makes us that much more dangerous. I have to make this trade. It's too good. It is far, far too good. Jim Gentile, you can go to the minor leagues. And then Vic Power is just going to casually slide in at second base. I mean, I just took my team's single greatest weakness and turned it into a strength, and that feels mighty damn good. Because I don't know if you've noticed, we are no longer in first place. We're very close to first place, don't get me wrong. But we are no longer in first place. And I don't want to sacrifice anything meaningful if we can avoid it. I could have done it for Horner and Stigman instead. I never looked at the second offer. Damn it. McCormick is really good. I think I definitely think there's an argument that they won this trade. But I also know that we had to make a move to improve second base. So what about catching? And it's gonna be, to be critical, it's gonna be Lopata on the way out, not Garagiola. Do we have any decent catchers on the market? Smokey Burgess is pretty good. I wonder if how much it would cost me to get him. Yeah, I am not going to give up anything noteworthy for him. I'll start with Jim Gentile, and you can let me know. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Sorry, mate. You're not getting anybody that good for a 31-year-old catcher, no matter how good he is, so I don't think so. Is that Sad Sam Jones? Oh, Toothpick Sam is not Sad Sam. Okay. He is not the one that played for me. Oh, I guess he is the one that played for me. Looks like he revitalized himself and is having a pretty good career. Nice. I'm happy for him. Charlie Maxwell for depth would be nice, but I'm not willing to give up very much for him. Gene Woodling is on the block. He's doing quite well for San Francisco. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and skip to the next sim. Skip to the next sim. Skip to the next sim. And I just don't see any point in arguing any of these deals at this point. Goodbye. Alright, finish today. Boyd Wilhelm is pitching more effectively, which is great to see. Boucher's getting better, Pinson's getting better, Jim Donahue's getting better. Dick Schofield's getting better defensively, so we've got lots of movement, which makes me happy. Yeah, Bob Gibson's pretty good, I guess. Like, one would think that Veda Pinson's got a pretty damn good chance to take home Rookie of the Year, but it's certainly not guaranteed. Oh, this is far more nerve-wracking than a lot of our pennant races of late. Not Rolando Rodriguez and James Meyer, not those guys. How will we ever function as a franchise without them? I'm a little disgusted that Mickey Mantle is third in the MVP race this year. Just because Bob Allison and Norm Seaburn decided to both work together to be fucking nuts. Or Knucking Futz as your... I mean, Bob Allison has been pretty amazing, so I think he is going to take Rookie of the Year pretty easily. He's having himself a year. Damn. Oh well. Anything crazy happening? Not really. Okay. Damn. How is this Jackie Robinson? I mean, he's not going to have the first ever, but he's still pretty damn good. I think he's still got a good chance to make the Hall of Fame. Draft pool. Collier, Stremski, and Ron Santos a pretty damn fine 1-2. Also, Ken Harrelson, Dean Chance, Boog Powell, Willie Davis. Some pretty damn good names in this draft. It's just unfortunate for Veda Pinson that Bob Allison had to pick this year of all years to be like, I'm one of the best in the entire game. That is completely fair. All right, our fourth pennant and 300 homers for Mickey Mantle already. That's ridiculous. You're ridiculous, Mickey, and I love it. They've been plus 84 times their 88-year history. That's funny. Oops, I did not want you to do it till the playoffs ended. Sorry. I mean, the Dodgers had two pretty fantastic players this year. I think that's why they were so dangerous from the start to the finish. I trust Gary Bell slightly more than I trust Harvey Haddix this year, so we're going to swap these two. There is literally only one thing stopping Mickey Mantle from being a Hall of Famer right now, which is that he doesn't have 10 years in the league yet. Like 76 WAR already in his career. Where does that rank? It's fucking insane, is what it is. But let me look at all-time WAR. Mickey Mantle is 17th. 17th all time. He is more than halfway to Ty Cobb's career. That is fucking insane. Excellent. Well done. 18 innings. Yikes. A Hank Aaron guy's pretty good. Uh, two in a row. Nice. Cleveland's got a really good team. Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson on the same team is pretty wild. A bunch of guys I don't care about. Ooh, Native Veda Pinson ended up, or Veda Pinson ended up with that again. Nice. We're up 3 games to none. What a wild game that was. Look at all those home runs. That Mickey Mantle guy's pretty good, though. He seems like he knows what he's about. How's he only had 7 at bats? Do they just keep walking him? Yeah, 2 walks in game 1. 3 walks in game 2. Yeah, they've decided we don't want Mickey Mantle to beat us. Which is definitely what happened in game 3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We coasted to our third World Series in 4 years. That's a dynasty. We're gonna put up banners that just say dynasty. And what a season this was. We actually faced some decent adversity this year, especially toward the end there when we were just really struggling to score. But I think Vic Power was such an important piece to our success this offseason, or this season rather. A guy with his pedigree that can handle both offense and defense was so important that even though I think Mike McCormick is going to be a star, I think we needed Vic Power. I think in a lot of ways, Vic Power was a critical piece to this team's success. Plus, losing Mickey Mantle for only a couple of weeks in the middle of the season was also pretty important too. Um, Veda Pinson breaking out as a rookie was also something that really helped us out here. We're a young team. We're getting younger. We shed a lot of the older players um, in exchange for far superior younger players, which is great. That was a pretty good season, I'm gonna say. Pretty damn good season. I'm very pleased with our performance this year. Um, and it didn't take Mickey Mantle having the best year in Major League history again. It was merely top 10 this season. So we let him slack off a little bit. Oh my god. Um, I guess about any cause for concern at the moment, I'm a little bit concerned about Rocky Colavito cooling off, but that's okay. Edgar Chapman is going to run for Congress. Good for him. Let's break it down, yo. What happened this season? Where did we succeed? Where did we fall a bit short? So Veda Pinson was almost Mickey Mantle. He led the league in runs, hits, doubles, triples, and stolen bases. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good baseball player, is Veda Pinson. Mickey Mantle, of course, and Mickey Mantle things. Still hasn't gotten a 30-30 season because a lazy bastard won't steal 30 stolen bases. Disgusting. uh, Ed Boucher is very clearly proving that he is the right fit for this club. I know he doesn't hit a ton of home runs, but I've got lots of home run hitters. What I don't have is big time guys who always get on base, and that's exactly what he does. And he hits lots of doubles, so it's not like he's a poor performer. Ken Boyer, remember distantly when we were like, I don't know if I should keep Andy Carey or Ken Boyer. Yeah, Ken Boyer was the right call. He's a sensational player and a really useful piece to our club. Rocky, it did cool off a little bit this season, but did bounce back. I guess I just can't expect infinity out of him, but he's actually playing quite well. Um, Vic Power was a godsend. Look at this down the stretch shit right here. I bet he's really happy to be on Baltimore. Ernie Banks is a really good baseball player. He's not a great shortstop, but he's good enough, and I will take that. Even Joe Gragiola ended up finishing with 2 WAR because he was so good defensively. So yeah, Gary Bell was a terrible hitter. That's the worst thing I can say about my bench this year. Andrew Daskovich was a fucking champ. He really helped deliver what we needed, and 15 home runs is pretty damn good for a backup infielder. Albie Pearson didn't have a great year. Um, because of his skill set, he's going to be a tricky one to project. Because he's going to draw for walks pretty easily, but beyond that, a lot of potential weaknesses there. Pitching. Who are our big stars pitching this year? Gary Bell showed he can hang. Gary Bell had a pretty fantastic rookie season. I guess technically this is his sophomore season, but he had a really good year. Connie Johnson was amazing once again. Padres and Haddix. The revitalization of Mudcat Grant is highly welcome. Even though I don't think he's going to be a starter long term, I am happy that he pitched as well as he did when we needed him to. Wilhelm had a great year. Charles Grimsley was pretty bad. It looks like good old Chuck here decided that home runs were a fun thing to allow, which is not a great sign. But overall, pretty pleased. I think Joey J fits in really nicely as a reliever. I don't think it just makes him a better player. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you're enjoying. Next season will be our last season with the Cardinals, so we'll see if we can make it 4 and 5 years. Until then, though, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.